Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to the new GTA Online weekly event. We have the new Benefactor Vorschlaghammer DLC vehicle that just dropped today that you can see behind me here, plus we have more removed vehicles featured back into the game for a limited time here that you could purchase. We have a new weekly challenge, of course. We also have all the usual changes like money bonuses and discounted vehicles and all the other different types of things that we come to expect with a weekly update as well. I covered all of that weekly update news and information in my Wednesday news video from yesterday, which if you want to check it out, I will leave the link to that in my description box as well as pinned comment if you're interested. But just for today, we have a guide on all of the biggest changes of the week that you sort of have to go digging for if you want to take advantage of them. And so with that said, let's get started with this week in GTA Online. First things first for this video, let's check out the new content that actually released in-game this week. Go over to your internet tab, go over to Southern San Andreas Super Autos, and of course we have that brand new Benefactor Vorschlaghammer as part of the Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC update. This car's inspiration is drawn heavily from the Mercedes-Benz W124, so particularly with that modified AMG Hammer version, which is why we have Vorschlaghammer in the name here. It's a great looking car, it's fantastic. I think for today when I'm gonna buy it, I'm just going to get it in the red paint job. I'm going to stick to a little bit more of a muted red today because when we showcase the customization and showcase the gameplay, I kind of want it to look, it's not the same thing, but I want it to look like the Mercedes-Benz 450 from the movie Ronin, and I'm going to see if I can kind of get it to look similar. So we're going to buy it in red here, and we will send it on over to our Eclipse Boulevard garage because that's where I'm going to be dumping all of the new vehicles I get in this game. So here is the vehicle completely stock, unmodified. I'm going to drive it into LS Customs. We are going to modify it. I'm not going to put the drift tuning on it. I think this car actually is available for drift tuning, or it's like, you know, part of the car that you can add to it. I'm not going to do that, but let's start off. We have the bolt-on arches. We have the bolted-on arches painted, as well as a wide body kit, which is actually pretty cool right here. If you want to add that to it, we may actually end up going with that. Of course, max armor. We want to do race brakes. We want to do the front bumpers. We have Euro plates, fog lights delete, plate fog lights delete, street bumper, as well as race day bumper. Then for the rear, we have race day diffuser, track diffuser, strip track diffuser, street diffuser, stripped street diffuser, as well as the stripped large diffuser. Those all look absolutely crazy. I'd go with something, actually I wouldn't even modify the rear. We definitely want to go with the Euro plates though. Of course, EMS level 4, go with a bunch of different exhaust options. You have tuner, chrome performance, big bore, chrome big bore, blast pipes, Shakotan exhaust, as well as gold big bore, which is pretty cool right there. We'll just go with chrome big bore. And then of course the grill, you have a stealth grill, painted grill, gold grill, and trim. So you can modify this car in a lot of gold. And then you have a bunch of different glass for the headlights and stuff like that that we can go through. I'm not going to modify anything. Benefactor hood ornament, we definitely want to rock that. You can put it in gold. We have twin intakes, quad intakes, race hood, track hood, and V-twin or V8 twin turbos. That's crazy on this car. Then, you know, of course, we could put on our xenon lights. You could do different horns. Liveries, we have black double stripes. We have a black Benefactor stripes, white Benefactor stripes, white Benefactor racing, black Benefactor racing, gradient geometry, black racing flame, racing geometry, black bottom stripes, as well as white Thunderbolt stripes. For the louvers, rear, roof wing, and standard. And then we also have the different plates. Skirts, you can go with smooth arch skirts, raised skirts, track skirts, as well as carbon track skirts. Different splitters in chrome, painted, gold, as well as track. Spoiler options, we could check those out. I don't think I'm going to go with any of these. That is looking insane right here. You want to turn your car into like the Gauntlet Classic Custom or something like that. Holy. Different sun strips. You could put one on the bottom. I've never seen something like that before. Different suspension, we're probably going to go with. I don't want to lower it too much, but maybe just like lowered suspension. Of course, max transmission. Put on a turbo, different wheels, windows, things like that. So I'll go with like, I may actually not modify the windows here. All right, I don't know how I feel about the customization. I'm just trying to copy what was seen in the movie Ronin. It's a totally different Mercedes. I get that. If you look at the photo, there's that 450 SEL in that movie, has a bunch of chrome trim. I think the wheels I came pretty close to. We just don't have the big lug nuts a little bit further spaced out from the center, but all in all, I feel like I got the color almost close to what it is. I put like a cream pearlescent on this Beechwood Brown. I've also never put a Beechwood Brown on a car ever in this game, so let's just see how it turns out. It doesn't look terrible. I must say, for my first go around, just trying to copy what was in the movie Ronin, it doesn't look awful. So let's check out their performance. The performance is very, very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, the speed feels good. The acceleration, let me try from a dig again, just to kind of see the braking. I feel like could be a little bit better. A little bit of wheel spin right there, but it does pick up in second gear and third gear, and then, you know, it kind of levels off. And very nice car. I must say that, you know, I don't know what the testing is going to be like when Bruffy does his tests and things like that. It does feel like it could slide a little bit. You know, if you throw on drift tuning with this car, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's available for this car, but if you actually apply that, I feel like this car would be a crazy drifter. I do like the way it handles. I like the way it performs. The traction, you know, I feel like it could be a little bit better, but also it kind of swings just like the car in the movie Ronin. It's a big, heavy, bulky Mercedes, right? I'm not actually sure exactly what year this car was supposed to be. It looks like this is supposed to be based off one of the early 80s models, of course, that they came out with that Hammer version. And I must say, you know, it's gonna have a little bit of body roll to it, right? You could kind of see it when we turn left and right. It's a big, heavy Mercedes, a classic Mercedes. But this thing stays planted to the ground probably more than I was expecting. And the speed feels good once you're already moving. Of course, you know, not that you're only gonna be driving in a straight line, but this car does feel insanely good just driving along the city streets. I guess when you kind of slow down, you know, you can notice the sliding back and forth and things like that. So you may end up crashing in the city a little bit more than you want. I'm not the best driver in this game, so trying to take that turn, you could see I was just going way too fast. But overall, it's satisfying. I think that's really what it comes down to with cars now in GTA Online. As long as the cars are satisfying to drive, I'm not expecting hypercar and supercar performance with every car. I think this is pretty faithful to what this thing would be like in real life if you were to modify it with a crazy turbo and have, like, you know, put a ton of money into the car to improve the performance in terms of rebuilding the engine, getting a good transmission, things like that. I feel like this is pretty similar to how the car would perform. The exhaust sounds great. I didn't actually take it on my track over here for the gameplay, but nonetheless, you can kind of get the feel of what it's like to drive this car in game if you do want to pick it up. I mean, it is under $2 million. I think that's worth it in my opinion. So with that said, this is the new DLC vehicle, the Benefactor Vorschlaghammer, on sale for $1,790,000 starting today. Pick it up if you want. I think it's definitely a cool car to bring into this game. I'm glad Rockstar did bring it into GTA Online. And let's check out some of the other stuff, some of the other bigger changes that you could check out for this week with the weekly update. Okay, so right now I am wearing a default outfit, but I'm doing this because all my other outfits, you can't really see the t-shirt, but we need to talk about the free Pizza This t-shirt reward that all players should have unlocked this week for, of course, completing the pizza delivery challenge here in this game, where players needed to complete 10 million Pizza This delivery missions. Rockstar confirmed on Twitter that we smashed the challenge. We got over 23 million pizza pies delivered by July 31st. So if you want to check out the Pizza This t-shirt, of course, you head to the top selection, then go down to special tops. It's 21 out of 47. Then you choose brands and you will find the Pizza This t-shirt right here. And of course, is my backpack blocking it? It is. Okay, hold on. Let me take my backpack off and then you can actually see the Pizza This t-shirt. So here we go. This is what it looks like. It's a blue t-shirt. It says Pizza This on it. Get a Pizza This. You know what I'm talking about? There we go. So honestly, cool enough. It's a t-shirt. It is what it is. But maybe I'll wear it today. Just for today. And you can wear it yourself. Now, before we get through some of the actual removed vehicles that are featured back here for a limited time in this week's update to GTA Online, I want to talk about the 3 LS Car Meet test drive vehicles real fast, because while they aren't removed vehicles, you can get them off in-game websites. If you come here to the LS Car Meet, you can actually pick up the more rare limited time liveries that are featured on these cars for this week. So starting off right here, you can see this is the Comet S2, and it is featuring the Rock and Roll Legends livery. So basically, you kind of get like a two-tone color scheme to it, white divider paint line, Fukaru, basically logos and graphics, things like that. Then you move on to the Fister Growler. This is a really cool one in my opinion. This is the tracked camo livery, so it's split. It almost is, it's got like the designer red with the white text on it down the middle, but you have basically half camo, half normal paint job on the car that you can customize to your liking right there. And then finally, we also have the Karen Previan, another LS Tuners car featuring the Stance Andreas Drift Team livery. So this is more of a drift livery for this car. Japanese lettering, I would assume. And then of course, you know, you get like jagged white lines and graphics and things like that. It honestly looks pretty cool. All of these cars you could pick up at the LS Car Meet for this week with these cool liveries in-game. Alright, now for the section that I think everyone has been waiting for with my weekly update guide. What are the removed vehicles for this week? Because the discounted ones aren't super fantastic. We have a few different options here, like of course the Postlude, the Dinka Conjo SJ, the Hot Ring Hellfire, the Reinhardt, the Reaver, the Overflawed Tyrant with a ton of engine resistance, and it's a big boaty overflawed vehicle. The coolest thing is probably the Western Annihilator, but we have some pretty sweet picks for our removed vehicles, definitely more niche picks. Let's start with probably the best one I think this week, the Dubachi 770. This is a sports car. It's got really nice top speed. It's got a 6-speed gearbox, so that gives it an edge against many other cars in the game, because for some reason a lot of cars are only 5-speed in this game. It's a heavier build though, and it is rear-wheel drive, and so that's going to limit your acceleration as well as your traction a little bit here, but it is inspired by that beautiful Aston Martin 177, so you get luxury with performance. Classic Aston Martin vehicle here in this game. Highly recommend you pick one up. Next, we have this Tornado Rat Rod, the classy Tornado Rat Rod. So for what this thing looks like, you'd probably think, wow, this thing has trash performance, but it actually features pretty good acceleration for what it looks like. I would say a modest top speed. It's got that elongated wheelbase, so you know, that's going to hinder your turning and your traction a little bit. Not going to have super sharp of a turning radius. Also, not the best front wheels, things like that. And then also the rear wheels and also the front, they're all susceptible to gunfire. So you're going to need to put your bulletproof tires on there. That's essential for keeping this car durable, and so you don't lose your tires while you're just driving around the map by someone shooting them out. Next up, we have the Benefactor Streeter. This is honestly a very durable and stable off-road vehicle. Of course, it's based on one of those Mercedes off-road builds, but it does have increased weight over a standard Mercedes. It's got a reduced top speed, so it's not really good for racing or even, you know, if you take it off-road, you're still not going to compete against lighter off-road rally cars. It's not a rock crawler or anything by that means. It's definitely more suited for like casual dirt trails or desert trails up in sandy shores, out in the desert, things like that. You know, you're going to spin out a lot if you try and climb Mount Chiliad, things like that. It also lacks very robust ramming capabilities because despite it being a heavy car, you slow down when you hit other vehicles. You don't bump them out of the way. So it's not super specialized for like what this vehicle's purpose kind of is. It's just a very casual choice for a casual off-roader. But if you want it, it is cool. I actually need to throw this one back in my nightclub garage. I just wanted to move it over here. It's going to actually stay as a home in my nightclub garage. Then we'll move on here to the BF Raptor. This is of course a trike. It's a sports trike. It's got quick acceleration, agile handling. It's got pretty stable cornering capabilities because it's light, and the single rear wheel is kind of cool, but it's also going to lead to a loss of control if you take different bumps and curbs at different speeds, so keep that in mind. Of course, very unusual design. The driving may not really appeal to all players, certainly doesn't really appeal to me, but it is kind of a unique vehicle here in this game, and when you actually get it at Simeon's, all these cars you can get at Simeon's this week that I'm talking about, this one is like featuring chrome on it, which is kind of crazy. Then one of the last vehicles we need to talk about here that is limited time removed and back for this game for a limited time this week, it's the Dinka Enduro. I would say this is just a very decent off-road motorcycle. It's got good maneuverability, lower speed compared to similar bikes like the Sanchez. The Sanchez overall is just better. It's a weird choice. It's ineligible for off-road races in GTA Online, so if you're getting it for that, don't even think about, you know, bothering with this bike because you can't actually use it. I don't know why. Nonetheless, though, the design of this bike is inspired by those older Honda XL250s and XL350s, so you get a really cool retro aesthetic, and honestly, that makes it a pretty cool collector's item despite its performance limitations, and so that's why I have one here in game this week. Highly recommend you get it if you want that kind of vehicle in your bike garage. You know, you can add it to your clubhouse, something like that. It's a cool vehicle. Can't use it in races. Performance isn't great, but it's a nice little collector's item. Again, you can get this one as well as the rest of the ones I discussed at Simeon's this week. Ignore all these. These are from previous weeks. At the Diamond Casino and Resort this week, we have the beautiful Pegassi Zentorno. And if you're wondering, wow, this has some crazy livery on it, you'd be correct, because it is in like that lime green color scheme and paint job. And then one of the newer updates, I think it was with the Chop Shop, correct? We actually got new abilities to go back and customize some older vehicles in this game. So the Pegassi Zentorno was updated here. You can add a bunch of new body kit elements to it, new liveries. You could do some front hood options, bumpers, rear bumpers, I'm pretty sure, different options like that. Nothing new in the way in terms of performance, but this is a sweet car. Of course, it is like the OG supercar or DLC supercar that every player, including myself, would love to drive around in this game. And so it is the podium vehicle for this week. And so say if you're like, well, I already own one, what you could do if you want is spin the lucky wheel like I'm about to do here, try and win this one, and say if you were to win the podium vehicle, customize it to your liking, maybe copy your old one, have a second one, or what you could do is copy your old customization and sell your original vehicle, get some money back because you'll make 60% of your purchase value. I'm just going to get 10,000 RP. And that's it, but every single time I make one of these videos for my weekly update guide, I like to spin the wheel so we can see if we can win the car together. And of course, don't forget your daily 1,000 visitor chips. In my free vehicles video coming out later this weekend, I will go into more detail on that podium vehicle and of course this LS Car Meet prize ride, which for this week is the Ocelot Ardent. And if you'd like to unlock this vehicle, all you need to do is once again complete the prize ride challenge, which for this week in particular, you need to place top 5 in LS Car Meet series races for 4 days in a row. So kind of like a big requirement for this car. It's not a terrible vehicle, it's actually pretty cool. Definitely not like top of its class or anything like that. You get some cool features, it's weaponized, things like that. But to log into this game and do the LS Car Meet series races for 4 days in a row, while it is only top 5 placement, that can be too big of a requirement for some players. So if you want to go for it, go for it. It is pretty cool. Like I said, I will go into more detail in my free vehicles video when we customize it and showcase some gameplay, give some details, Easter eggs, tips and tricks, little fun facts about what it's like to own this car as well as the podium vehicle. And so those are all of the biggest changes I wanted to discuss with you all today in the update guide for this weekly event here in GTA 5 Online. Remember, if you want all the news and information on the discounted cars, the money bonuses, as well as other things like the different in-game vendor vehicles and things like that, then make sure to check out my weekly update video linked in my description box. I'll probably include it in my pinned comment as well. That video will have all of the relevant information you're looking for. On Thursday, I'd just like to cover the biggest changes like new content, free rewards the community gets, weekly challenges for extra money, and of course removed vehicles whenever those show up in game as well. Also make sure to tune in tomorrow, of course, because we have a really good money bonus this week, and that is triple money on taxi work. Taxi work was already triple buffed with the bottom dollar bounties DLC update, but now for this weekly event, it's also 3 times money. So that is 9 times money from its original payout values. So this week you can probably make between $650 and maybe $700 to $750,000 an hour with this activity. But tomorrow I will have a money guide breaking it down. We're gonna crunch those numbers, test it out, run a boatload of taxi missions, and also check out the new drag races as well as the EC Classic races, since those are double money as well. So if you like money bonuses and you like money guides on GTA Online, make sure to check back into the channel tomorrow for that one. With that being said, we're gonna wrap everything up right here. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, or if you just found the video helpful. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Really appreciate all the support here on the channel. Excited to make tomorrow's video for you, and I will see you guys in that video. Adios, amigos.